So what we have to do is, like Officer said, Cap said, I'm sorry, is to get our people out of the conditions that we are in. We've been down for so long because we've been destroyed. We don't even know what we're supposed to be doing in these times and this keeping God's commandments to get these off of us, right? So give me 1 John 5 and 3. You love God? I know you said you didn't agree with the Bible, but you see, the Bible is not contradictory. The Bible is not wrong. Christianity is wrong. Right. Christianity is the reason why when I say do you love God, you even got to pause and question it, because of Christianity has destroyed your image of God. But what we're showing you, God is just like a daddy. Like you said, your nieces and nephews don't do what you say, you punish them. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans did do what God said, so he punished us, right? But this is what our people, if we ask 100 people out here, 95 of them are going to say they love God, right? But let's show how God said that you love him. Read that.
Bring it out.
1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
So God said the love of God is keeping his commandments. So if everybody out here is breaking God's commandments, do they really love God? No, they don't love God. That's what we have to show our people. You really don't love God. You think you love God, but you don't. We decided, hey, I love God, so we start keeping his commandments, and we came out here to tell our other people, hey, this is how you love God, by keeping his commandments. And this is what he say about them. Read.
And his commandments are not grievous.
His commandments are not hard to keep. The things that God gave us to do are not hard to keep. So what we're going to do, we're going to help you out, because we want you to get right with God. We want the curses to come off of you and get eternal life, right? So now we got to show you in the scriptures, how do you get eternal life, which we already know. Gotta give me the Leviticus. We're gonna go here, right? So this gotta understand. Give me 19 and 7 first. So this is what you gotta realize that we out here doing. A lot of our people think we come out here to spew hate. We are not spewing hate biblically. According to the Bible, we are actually doing the opposite, right? Read that.
Leviticus 19:27. You shall not round the corners of your head.
No, give me the other one first. 17.
Yes.
Leviticus 19:17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So the scriptures tells us we should not hate our brothers in our heart, right? So how do you do that?
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
He said you should in any wise, the opposite, and rebuke or correct your neighbor. If you see your neighbor going out, say, hey bro, you're doing this wrong. So that's what our job is, to read this Bible and come show our people what they're doing wrong so we can get right, right? That's love, right? If somebody about to walk in the street, you say, hey, do you say, hey, please don't walk in the street? Or you say, hey, don't go in the street. So this is what me telling you, don't keep going in the street. Read that.
Rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Because I ain't going to suffer sin upon you. Sin is the breaking of God's laws. Now give me 27. So I'm going to show you a law that you are breaking that you might not know you were breaking. Because you ain't who's gonna teach it to you? The pastor show ain't teaching it to nobody. A lot of our people don't know. So now we gonna go in the Bible and show you one of the things that you're doing wrong according to scriptures. Read this.
Leviticus 19:27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads.
What does that mean? Round the corners of your head means what? Not cutting it, shaving it. Don't shave off don't round it, right? Read.
Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
What does that part mean? What does the word mar? You know what the word mar means? Destroy, right? So he said, neither shall you destroy the corners of your beard. You shave? That's destroying the corners of your beard. God said that the blacks, Hispanic, and Native American man is supposed to let their beard grow and not destroy the corners of it. Can you get it lined up? Yeah, you can get it lined up, but shaving it off, God said, don't do that.
Right.
Because doing that, the little bitty thing, you might not think it being much, but doing that got us in the conditions that we were in. Where does that come from? What do we get shaving from? The West. They did it in Egypt and they do it in America. Why? Because now they can look at you and call you a boy. You ain't a man. A beard is a manly badge of dignity. You shave that out, now you just a boy. What they call us in slavery? Boy. Down south they still call you boy. Right? So that's what comes from shaving your face. And God said, don't shave your face because you're a man. You're a God on this earth. Not just a regular man. You are a God on this earth. So that's one of the things that you got to fix. Once you learn these scriptures and getting it out, we got to start correcting it. Because that's how we're going to correct our neighborhood. Give me number 15. Show you another easy, because these are not hard, right? Is it hard to grow a beard? No. Why? God did it for you. You didn't even have to put no effort into it. God grew the hair on your face for you. You work harder to shave it off than doing what God said to do. Our people are hard-headed. They rather do the hard, make it harder to sin than just doing the easy things God told us to do. This is another one that you might not know. You're not keeping it, so you might not know it. But we're here to teach our people how to get out of these conditions. Read.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel.
And what you're going to notice, when this Bible talk, he always says, speak to the children of Israel, which is the black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why we go to the hood where the black, Hispanics, and Native Americans at. We're not going to no white neighborhoods because we don't care what they doing. We're trying to get our people right so we can get out of these conditions, right? So he says, speak unto the children of Israel.
And bid them,
or command them,
that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
He said, make fringes in the borders of their garments. So if you look around at all the brothers in purple out here today, we all got fringes on the border of our garment, right? You see the little thing, those are fringes. And we don't just got them on, we don't just do this on one day of the week. Every day of the week, if you catch me in the supermarket in the middle of the week, I'm going to have these on. Why? Read.
Throughout their generations.
Throughout your generation, what does that mean? The kids, right? As long as you still having kids, they supposed to have them fringes in the border of their garments. Read.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
And on that fringe of the border, if you check it out, ribbons of blue. Different shades of blue, but it's a ribbon of blue on top of the fringe. That's a commandment of God. That's why we do it. Why does God do that for us? Read.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
He gave us a fringe so that we may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord. Because sometimes that old man come back. The man who we used to be before we repented and came to this Bible try to sneak up, right? But what you see those fringes, they remind you, okay, I got to put him to death. I got to die daily. I got to kill that man every time he poke his head in these fringes. God put them on a reminder so you don't forget that.
Right.
If you walking around without no fringes, you might slip up and look at Big Butt Betty as she walk by. And now your mind wandering. You know what I'm saying? But the fringes going to keep you in line and make sure that you are keeping those commandments. Right. So we can get out of these conditions. You know what I'm saying? Give me a 10 and 12. I like 10 and 12. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Because this is the things that we got to learn. Because when you walked up, you was an African American. After all this history you got to realize you're not African American. You're an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
That's
and
right.
It's trying to do what God, we are the servants of God. So every servant has a job requirement that they have to do. God tells us, what's your job requirement? Now that you know you're Israel, what is your job requirement? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Now that you know you're an Israelite, what does God require of you? Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
So we got to fear God, we got to love him, we got to walk in all his ways, right? To serve him with our heart and our soul. Because our sole job on this earth is to serve the Most High God.
Right.
Read.
To keep the commandments.
And that's how we serve him, by keeping his commandments. Read.
Of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So you got the commandments, then you got statutes under it, right? That we got to keep, right? And what is it for? Read that.
This day for thy good.
And it's for your good. You keeping the commandments is for your good. You keeping the commandments is going to get you out of the ghetto and into eternal life. Right. So that's good for you. God made these for you. That's what we got to realize as a people. This Bible is a book of prophecy. It was made for a black people, a black book made for black people who need to get out of these situations we in.
Right.
But what's the issue? The black church, Christianity, the white man religion being pushed through the black churches and to the black people. And that's why we running around thinking it's okay to be gangsters. That's why we running around thinking it's okay to dress like whores. God told our women to dress in modest apparel. What they do, put on a shortest poom shorts they can find.
Right.
Put on the tightest pants they can find. And what's the first thing a sister do when she put on the pants? Make sure it's poking out, right? And now you making sure it's poking out, and the next man ain't gonna do nothing but try to poking in. That's the problem with our sisters. And that's why we got baby mamas. That's why we got baby daddies running around here. We got illegitimate children all over the place because we refuse to keep the laws of God. So broken homes create broken communities, create broken nations. And that's why we're in the condition that we are.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.